Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Proverbs, where today we touch a second of three sections that speak about adultery, sexual sin, and the danger of. We start a little bit in chapter 2, and now chapter 5 and chapter 7 later will speak almost only about that subject. The author in chapter 5 will present the danger and then the way to fix it. So we'll attack the full text. Oh yes, we will look at the entirety of chapter 5 because it goes together. We'll go through pretty quickly because we'll see that a lot of what it says here, it already spoke. The Father has already said these things. So we'll go through pretty quickly. We'll focus on certain aspects. We're going to also notice that I think it's more than just the dangers of sexual sin. The author, through poetic language, is trying to say way more than just be careful of promiscuous women. So, let's look at that together. He starts by saying, "My son, be attentive to my wisdom. Incline your ear to my understanding, that you may keep discretion, and your lips may guard knowledge." Here are words we've already seen before. Right? This call of the Father to the Son to be attentive, to incline your ears, right? Purposeful in receiving instruction. So there's nothing new here, except for that last little phrase. Your lips may guard knowledge. Sounds weird, right? The idea of why the lips keeping knowledge in? Well, I think there's two reasons. The first is it's kind of connecting the idea of this information, instruction, wisdom I'm giving you, keep it inside. Let it fester and transform you. You know the whole saying that we have nowadays, in one ear, out the other. It's almost like he's saying, block the other ear. Don't let it go out, right? But I think it's more than that, because as we continue, we're going to see that he's going to take that idea of lips and bring it to the next part. Bring it to his warning. When he says, "For the lips of a forbidden woman drip honey, and his speech is smoother than oil. But in the end, she is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword." So from the idea of keep your lips closed to how her lips just drip out stuff. You can see the contrast. It's poetic. It's beautiful. You don't get bogged down by it. You just see the poetry of it. But yet, there's a warning about this woman. And we see the contrast between the idea that her lips seem to drip out honey and to have smooth, like oil type speech, but actually it's going to be bitter and it's going to strike you hard, right? Oil slips, but a sword cuts. But what seems to be beautiful to seduce will end up being destructive. And that's where he's going to kind of go with this, the idea of how much harm it will bring into your life. He's going to continue by explaining some of that harm. And again, we focus on the poetry, the words he's using. He's going to go from the lips now to the feet. Her feet go down to death. Her steps follow the path to Sheol. She does not ponder the path of life. Her ways wander, and she does not know it. Again, it's poetry. It's meant to be contrasted, right? The idea of her path is death because she doesn't know life. It's contrasted. From, like I said, her lips to her feet. It's not supposed to be literal. It's just to show you that her way of life, it's all about death. Because on the flip side, she knows nothing about what gives life. And as we've seen before, it's more than just physical life. It's spiritual, emotional life or living. Life force, if you will. She knows none of it. She's completely off that path. And we've seen that before also in chapter 2 when he spoke of that. So, we're seeing some of the ravages this woman can bring. He will continue and say this. "And now, O sons, listen to me, and do not depart from the words of my mouth." Again, a call to listen, but yet, have you noticed? He went from the singular son, I'm talking one-on-one, to sons, plural, like he did before in chapter 4. Again, because this isn't just a literal father and a son, it's a call to individuals taken seriously, but also call to everyone. They all need to hear it. We all need to hear. So he told us to listen. He's warned us about this woman. And again, he says, listen to me. Pay attention to what I'm saying. This is serious. And that's when he's going to hit again this warning to him. He's told us how bad she is. Now he's going to go into warning mode. Keep your way far from her, and do not go near the door of her house, lest you give your honor to others, and your years to the merciless, lest strangers take their fill of your strength, and your labors go to the house of a foreigner. And you can see it's going to continue after this. It's a little comma. It's not finished yet. Everything that's going to happen to you if you're not paying attention, if you're not taking it seriously. We go from the fact that she's stepped away, wandered away from the path of life, to now you, us, being called to stay far away from her house, which represents her way of life. It's, again, poetry, imagery. Just stay away from it. And more he explains it, and more I see that this is not just about the adulterous woman, but sin itself. And when he talks about the honor being taken from you, given to the merciless, I don't think literally somebody's going to come and take you if you go to this woman. Some have said, oh, it's about her husband. I think this is about how sin itself, and every time we indulge in it, will really destroy us, destroy our honor, will be a merciless attack. It will really harm and destroy you, will take your strength from you. Sin zaps you spiritually. Now don't miss the stranger. Not only have we seen this strange woman in chapter 2, but we know that strangers, Gentiles, is something very bad for the Jewish mind. Everything that is not Jewish, stay far from it. It's everywhere in the law. So the fact of talking about this stranger taken from you, it really is a reminder, just like in the law, that when they disobeyed, God would send strangers to come and take them from their land and bring them to captivity. That would be the ultimate punishment for disobeying God, for giving over to sin and idolatry. So the warnings are strong. That's why I think it's more than just this adulterous woman herself. But like I said, it continues. The whole danger and what's going to come of it will continue and say, and at the end of your life, you groan when your flesh and body are consumed. And you say, how I hated discipline, and my heart despised reproof. I did not listen to the voice of my teachers, or incline my ear to my instructors. I am at the brink of utter ruin in the assembled congregation. Here is more why I think it's far greater than just sexual sin. This is about how sin will ruin you in every way possible. That you're going to hit your head against the wall saying, why did I not listen to God's word? To the pastors or brothers trying to warn me about the danger of these sins. The fact he talks about the assembled congregation, I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe, is to remind us how sin is always a public thing. You think it's just between you and your own flesh. You and this woman, let's say, because she's still in the forefront. But it never is. It always gets known by the community because we are part of the community. Israel and the old, church here, we're always part of the community. And the community always gets impacted. They see and know it and get hurt by it as well. When one member suffers, all members suffers with it. So this is the reality of what it will do. It's at this point that the Father will turn things around. It's after the moment of full despair of saying, I should have listened, that he's going to come back around and say, here's what you should be listening to. Here's the way to contradict or combat this. Drink water from your own cistern, flowing water from your own well. Should your springs be scattered abroad, streams of water in the streets? I will not go into details, but I think you can figure out what all this imagery is kind of referring to when we're talking about the danger of sexual sin. So like I said, I'll let you figure it out for yourself. But we still understand the notion, right? Why should you be giving yourself away like that when you should instead enjoy, again, your own system, your own well? And we're going to find out very quickly it's your own wife that he's referring to. Hey, he's going to say this: let them be for yourself alone, these waters, and not for your strangers, again, those strangers. Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice in the wife of your youth, a lovely deer, a graceful doe. Let her breast fill you at all times with delight. Be intoxicated always in her love. There's the secret. Many in Proverbs and all through the Bible, you want to be able to fight off sexual sin and the adulterous, seductive woman. Enjoy being with your wife. And again, I don't need to draw you a picture. You know what it means. Especially these words are very clear. That's what he's talking about. Now, again, I permit myself a little parenthesis. If he is talking about more than just sexual sin, but sin itself, then here he's also talking about how to really enjoy that intimacy with the Lord. That's what's going to keep you from sin. It is this enjoyment of God that's going to keep you from enjoying the flesh. But, parentheses close, he is talking about sexual sin in the forefront, for sure. Now it comes back around with yet more warning. He's told us how to fix it, but then he's going to come back to warn us again. Warning, fixing, warning again. I hope we take this sandwich seriously. He says, why should you be intoxicated, my son, with forbidden women, and embrace the bosom of an adulteress? Right, again, he's taking all these ideas that he's used before for the wife, find your own well. And I'm saying, why would that be turned into somebody, turned towards somebody else? Right, being intoxicated goes well with what we saw before. Embracing the bosom, same words. We see it again. Why give yourself to these things when you should be with your own wife? So simple. So simple. He continues and says, 4. Here's the reason. A man's ways are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all his path. See, this is more proof for me that he's not just talking about sexual sin. He's talking about all the detours that we take. This is before God. First, it was the assembled people, right? The community will see and be impacted, but there's also the notion God himself is there. God himself sees this. You're not just sinning against your wife. As David said, I sin against you, and you only, when he sinned with Bathsheba. Not that it's not important what he did to her or to Uriah when he killed him, but first and foremost, God. Sin is against him. And of course, to run it all up, a little bit more scare tactics. He ends with a very negative note and says, the iniquities of the wicked ensnare him, and he's held fast in the cords of his sin. He dies through lack of discipline, and because of his great folly, he's led astray. One language that make you think of Israel, who gave itself over to sin and idolatry and were literally led away into captivity. That's what sin does. And again, we really see it. I wasn't making that up. The author who started talking about the adulterous woman and enjoying your own wife ends with a way that says it's not just her, it's about all sin and how all of it will capture you and pull you far away. And that's why we need to be intoxicating ourselves with God. This is a message for us. Because we live in a world where everything around us is made to tempt us. Brothers and sisters, if you live in North America like I do, it is everywhere. In every so many ways. And it's not just sexual sin. All of it is meant to capture us and pull us away from God. And the answer to it is to enjoy God forever. Enjoy what it means to obey him, to live according to his will, which is in part mixed within the community. Right? Love one another, so we show our love to God. It's there. Do that. Put on the new man, and you'll be free from the old man you're supposed to put off. And here it is in the Old Testament, in the beautiful book of Proverbs. I hope this speaks to you. Dear brothers and sisters, be blessed.